My name is Cypher Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in, 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 tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. What's good, Jeff?
Nothing much. Jeffrey.
Well, I am in California, you know. We don't pronounce our J's out here.
That's right. It's like a Y.
That's right.
Okay.
So,
how you doing, Doug?
just trying to set up our live feed right now to view your channel. Oh, there we go. That's the one I was looking for. Nope, that's not what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I'm on a different laptop too, so a lot of these things are in different places.
Some of the buttons ain't the same right now.
Right. For some reason, I tried to minimize the zoom, and it did something weird. I think it should be okay.
So now I got my no comments from anybody so far, which is odd, but that's okay. I'm gonna start sharing. Bam. All right. Anyway, so what you been up to lately? Anything new?
Just doing something that I have been putting off for a while, which is kind of getting everything boxed up and ready for the move.
All right.
Yeah, typical procrastination.
All right. Well, just to let everybody know what the plan is for tonight. Tonight, we are going to just talk about the year in review. So we're going to go over our past guests this season and just kind of hit on those. Maybe it'll strike your interest. Oh, there we go. We got... There's Tiffany coming in. Joey in line 4 says, I love bass. Tristan's watching. Jeffrey's testing. Let's see here. Where am I at? I'm still sharing.
Good.
Car audio.
There we go. Okay.
Starting to figure every stuff out. All that stuff
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just move this a little bit so I can see the chat.
Okay. Oh. Tiffany.
Wow, it's been a whole year, right?
It has.
Crazy.
Tiffany says, working while listening to you guys. We have a new term lab owner in St. Martin, and I am here training the customer. That's where Tristan is at today. That's cool. That's one of the things is we want to see the car audio community grow and whatnot.
Yes.
So one way to grow is to get a term lab and then become a judge and start out that way.
And then you realize how easy it is. And then you start hosting events every weekend.
Yep.
Hopefully.
All right. Woody McDonald popping in. All right. So let's get through this first part real quick. Just saying thank you to our sponsors, Badass Sounds by Steve Bass and E-Box Design and Install, Mr. Eric Hansen. So if you guys get an opportunity, please support those who support the channel. So that's what I'm going to say with them. All right, so let's, because, only in an hour, we got to get through a lot of people here. We are going to start Season 4, Episode 1. Guest Corey Christensen, 4-time Cyclone World Record holder. Anything that we had remembered about him? So,
Corey, was he a Midwest guy? Sounds like he was.
Yeah, Midwest SPL.
Oh, that's right.
Or not
Extreme.
SPL, Extreme, yes.
Yeah, I think he had the colorful, it was like a blazer, I think. He ended up winning finals.
Yep.
Yeah, he ended up taking it to finals.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then our next podcast guest was Mr. Jody Green. Let's talk about Down Under DB Drag. This is
Yeah.
in January, so that's the middle of their season. So
Hmm.
that's always cool because that's like right as their season's kicking off, right? Because it's summer for them. Then we have Mr. Matthew Busby. He's been in here. He's always in the chat quite often. What's
Yeah.
up, Lewis TVC?
Hey,
Another one that's always in
Lewis.
the chat there.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we had. Matthew Busby. Oh, Mr. Gary Killian. And we just had him on to talk about, in general, what's going
Hmm.
on out there. Jose Ramos, one of the newest DB drag judges, or his family is the new DB drag judge out here in California, Northern Cal.
How's he liking it? Has he mentioned anything? Any
So I went
feedback?
I went and talked to him Sunday,
Hmm.
and he was just kind of looking for some help figuring out venues and stuff like that. So
Oh, okay.
uh, Woody McDonald saying hello from YouTube also. um, anyway, so if somebody's looking to host shows for DB Drag next year, you got a location, hit up Jose Ramos. It's one of the things we were talking about, so I was
Hmm.
gonna kind of help him a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah, and as we started the season off, we had Wyatt Meyer in there
Oh,
talking
okay.
a little bit about World Finals and whatnot.
Now I'm sure he right now is in hibernation, in deep hibernation up there in Wisconsin. So he's probably under a couple of feet of snow, just waiting for his
Frost off.
his frost off multi-point show to kick in, in springtime. So
Yep.
shout
Uh,
out to Wyatt.
Yep. And then we got to Carlos Rodriguez.
Ah, okay.
So he's the guy out of Vegas.
Yeah.
So he was testing a crap load of subwoofers. U.S.A.C.
Hmm.
world record holder.
Oh yeah.
Manny Alejandre with the test. Remember, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook. It helps the algorithms. But Carlos, he was a really cool dude. His wife helped us get in contact. She was paying attention to the podcast, and I can get you him. So she helped us out there. There's Eric Hansen, Mr. E-Box himself.
Oh, he made it to the show this past weekend. He put this like kind of cryptic post on Facebook that said, I think it was like, does anyone in Austin can help me pull me out of the mud or something like that? And I was like, what? And I guess he got stuck in the mud out there. He was doing some stuff. I think he went to some attraction down there in Austin, in the forest in the dead of night, and that's when he got stuck. So good thing he made it out, and he's here, commenting and chatting on the show today.
Yeah. After that, we had Greg Purchell, one of my old friends, been around a very long time. Greg, good guy. Talking about him and where his stuff was going to be, and what he was kind of doing and how his shop was doing, whatever. Mm-hmm. Manny Alejandre, what's up, guys? Lord of Bass, Manny in the house.
Hey.
Then we had Ray Pimley, Iasca, California judge. Yeah. So, he's trying to do some big things out here, which is really cool. David the Duke, finally here, he says. So we were talking about Ray Pimley, and then we did Jose Ramos Jr., which obviously seniors in the chat there. We had Junior come on, talk to him a little bit about U.S.A.C. and what he had planning for the season. And then, I think we touched on that he was potentially going to be the DB drag judge at that point. Joseph Seyoun from Earthquake Sounds. That was the first of the two. Eric Hansen says he went to the Forbidden Forest Harry Potter experience in Austin, Texas. It was forbidden that his car got stuck.
He could have did his wand and got him unstuck, but he probably couldn't do it.
But so Joseph was really cool. If you guys get a chance, go back and listen to that one. We had him on twice. Very technical stuff. The really cool thing about the Joseph podcast, One of the things that I really, really, really liked about his was his Mel Valadez popping in.
What's up, Mel?
The really cool thing about Joseph's podcast is, showing anybody can come from nothing to become something. Really
right.
came here with nothing into this country and grew it into a multi-million-dollar company.
I think
Sounds.
his engineering degree,
Yes.
had a little bit of, something to do with his success. So,
Well, I mean, but he had to work for that too, right?
yeah,
Nothing was given to him, and shows the
stay
hard
in
work.
school.
Yeah.
Stay in school. Get that engineering degree.
Yep. So it showed the hard work and how it can pay off for you.
Oh yeah.
Then speaking of hard work, next one we had was Jonathan Price with Down for Sound.
Man, what more can we say about JP? I mean, he's like on top of the world and then some.
Yep.
But he's you're right. He's working hard too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Next we had Tony Curry with Longleaf Mechanical LLC. What was Longleaf again?
He's a competitor out here in Texas.
That's right.
He was doing Cyclone, man, just about every class, I think, except for Top Dog. He tried Top Dog a couple of times, and he kept. I think he was breaking out a lot, so he just stuck with the other formats. But he actually became a big sponsor for a lot of the Texas shows.
Mm-hmm.
Upgraded a few of the shows to triple. Got trophies for the event. So, hopefully he keeps doing that.
Yep. And you guys listening or watching or whatever, if there was an episode that we had this year that was your favorite, please mention it in the chat there. Then we went back to Ray Pimley. We were talking about Autorama. Autorama was coming up at that point. And then we got to Mr. Steve De Los Santos.
Oh, okay.
De Los Santos.
That must have been around time when he was doing his yearly event.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said, show. We're going to talk about the second annual memorial show.
That's right. That was around May, I think it was. April, May.
David the Duke says his podcast was his favorite. Let's see. We're on episode 18. Remember, we got 48 of these episodes to go through, so I sent you pictures. Yeah, he did, but I ignore him during the middle of a podcast. Just saying. Bam. Eric sent a picture. Ignored.
What was it?
I don't know. Let's see. Where were we at? Oh, and then we had, let's see, Steve De Los Santos. Then we had Joseph part 1 and then part 2 because it was so long I had to break it up.
Oh, really?
It was an hour and a half podcast with him. Once again, we just talked about how he developed Earthquake into something special, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, that's definitely one of my favorite episodes, just because I love hearing about how people succeed. I just think that's completely awesome.
Oh, yeah.
There was a part 1, part 2. Casey Custer, my bowling buddy, Mr. Mike Monkey.
That was the outside looking in.
Yes.
Viewpoint of
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah, because it's definitely those. Sometimes we need to see it from a different perspective, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. Is just it was an opportunity to see things from a different perspective from somebody who isn't part of our world. All right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was axle deep, is what the picture he sent.
Oh no.
So anybody that's a 4-wheel guy, they'll know all about the axle deep. And then we had Lord of Bass Stone, because he set the demo wall world record.
Was it Autorama?
It was Autorama.
Right? Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it was around Autorama time.
Yep. So he just said, hey, I'm already here at Autorama. I'm pretty loud. Let's see how loud I am. And then he was like, holy crap, I just set a world record. So, yeah, that
And
was.
it foreshadowed his actual win at finals.
It did.
Several months later. So that was kind of cool.
Yep. And then we had Justin Stolman on. Do you remember what we talked about with him? I know he was like talking about that he was a storm chaser a little bit.
Yeah, I think he might have had a charity event he was doing.
Oh, up
at
at the
his
school
area.
Yeah, up at the school, up by where he was at. That's right. That's what he was talking about. Mark Costilla, Precision Sounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the shop owner in
Oklahoma?
Indio,
Oh.
California.
Oh, that's right, Indio. Okay.
We ended up doing an event for him out there, and it was kind of where they had it was like the desert area, like near Palm Springs, and this was kind of like just the beginning of summer, so it was still pretty hot. First time he had a show out there. We had a show for him a couple of times when he was back down in the Fontana area, Fontana, California. But yeah.
Okay. Next episode, we're at 23 right now. Mr. Moses Martinez.
Another person that what more can we say about Moses?
Yes.
Although he's been kind of a little quiet. I don't know we've had that many events just the past few months after finals, but I'm sure he's probably taking a much deserved hibernation as well. So
yep. I think he went to the Toys for Tots that was last weekend in Fresno.
Ah, okay.
So
that's right. I did see Rosita, I should say, with I think they were working on her car. So
okay.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I just call in to check on him every once in a while. Then we ended up Ryan Rutherford. Was he at Slamology, or was he Tennessee Base Racers?
Was it Ryan or Kyle? Was it Kyle?
It says Ryan Rutherford on here.
Ah, okay.
So I don't remember. And then Jay Sanchez talking about what it takes to host an event and being a long-time host and whatnot. And, this is in July. So we were talking, hey, what does it take to be a host and whatnot? So that was all good stuff. Then we started going off with Mr. Chris Gregory talking about the multi-venue stuff. And just on cue, Eric Hansen, when are we having multi-venue?
Perfect timing.
I don't know, Eric. That is something that has to be discussed amongst everybody, right? And then the following show after that was Audio Dreamland Chris, also talking about the multi-venue.
Ah, okay.
Right? So, that's when we were kind of scheduling and planning. Team DC Joe out of Reno. We were talking about how he was building the Reno version of Team Send It.
Right. That's right.
So that was cool.
I think he was instrumental, too, of getting Dave Bradshaw to the multi-venue event and ended up winning.
Yeah, and he ended up winning.
If it wasn't for Joe that helped him out,
they were building the car in his house right up to the show.
I believe something like that. I think they were partying the night before.
Yes. And then we had one of your guys, Team Hertz Feelings Willard.
Ah, yeah, okay. A staple in the Texas basehead community.
Yep. And we talked to him about the same thing, about being a team member and building a team, what it takes. Matt R. with the what's up. Eric Hansen says, I'm not having very many shows this year. There's always Autorama at least. That's a 5X weekend. Just saying.
I think he missed like 3 shows already. So.
Then we had Richard Ross.
Ah, okay.
East versus West. So he ended up winning his class, right?
Hmm.
And then we brought on Dave Bradshaw and Julio Montanez to
Ah,
talk about the wins over here.
20s and 30s, right?
Oh, you like the way I spelled review? Um,
No, what is it?
so what it is I run a program. I use a program every day, and it's called Revue, R uh, RVEU or UE or whatever. So
Mm.
I when I see the word review, that's how I spell it because we use it all the time.
I think that's the French way of spelling review too, right?
Oh, it may be. I like
It
I said,
might
it's
be.
just happens to be my a program I use every day, and that's why it goes out that way to me. Then we had a guest, Keegan.
Ah, okay.
So Keegan is the young man whose dad owns the vape shop where
Right.
Chris Gregory has all his shows,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think it was 15. I think it was,
Yeah,
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 15-year-old,
15-year
right?
old.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talked about playing video games, how that helped him with
Bass
controlling the
racing.
bass knob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Top Dog and whatnot.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was Keegan was a pretty good one. Got his got dad on to talk a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um, then we had Scott Jones about Tucking in the Valley, one of your
Ah, right.
sponsors, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think this was like year 3 of his Tucking in the Valley
Mhm.
show. This one is really it was really cool. It was also at again at a casino. The after party, I don't know if it was posted anywhere. I went to the after pool party, and that was pretty fun. So yeah, it was more than just his car show. It was just kind of like an all day, all night event. It was just really fun. Yeah, I guess you guys just had to be there. It was a lot of fun.
You might be doing it again this year, or
Hopefully,
okay,
hopefully. That was a good venue, though. It really was.
okay. Then we had Dustin Wright talking about the upcoming multi-venue World
Uh,
Finals practice event, right?
Dustin actually drove from Tennessee to Oklahoma, where Tucking in the Valley was. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, he knows how the show was. Yeah, I saw him on the casino floor afterwards, and we spent some time talking a little bit. So
All right. And then we had a sick Dana Fernandez on.
probably my favorite show of the season. Yeah, it was really cool. I was happy she was able to do it, and she was willing to be on the show even though she was sick. But
Hmm.
of course, she just won
Yep.
top dog at the multi venues, so it was really cool that she was on and kind of letting everybody know who she was. Got to see the face along with the name and
Right.
stuff like that. So she just told me the other day she was at work and she wore the base race points leader jacket
Oh,
to
okay.
work,
Uh huh.
and she was explaining to her coworkers, okay, this is what DB drag racing is. This is what I do, and she was showing people,
Videos.
I guess, videos, and then they were all. She was telling me that they were all saying, "Oh, you guys could Google Dana, and this comes up," and so he was pretty ecstatic about it to this day. So
That's cool.
yeah,
My daughter popping in here says, "Sup, Doug."
yeah.
Let's see here. Next was Wayne Harris talking about the World Finals and the multiple locations and all that stuff. So that was interesting. Oh, Lewis says she killed it for the season. She was very great to watch her progression.
Yeah,
So,
this was her first season.
yep.
I was going over some awards at work today, and I saw the first. I was like, "This is your first base race win." This was October of 2023, and I was like, "Wow, we need to keep this one."
All right. Oh, when you were going through stuff to move,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, Next one was Matt Hollerand.
Yeah.
49 and Pro Stock No Limit World Champion.
Multiple time world champion.
Yes, multiple time. Not bad at all.
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
solid. Then we had David the Duke Hunt which is obviously his favorite episode. Oh, Tristan said he's trying to get more of the islands to the DB drag. That's why, like I said, he was in Saint Martin and doing that. So yeah, David Hunt, street stock 1K world champion.
Yeah,
Who didn't want to? He was gonna try top dog or base race this year or something. He was saying.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of. He goes me. Yeah, I think we convinced him to try it, even though he doesn't want to.
Yeah, and I think it's just by association. He's just there
Tennessee
with the
base racers.
Tennessee base racer guy. It's rubbing off on him, so he's just gonna give it a shot. We'll see.
Yeah. Then we have Will Welcher, Lord of Base Will, demo no wall world champion for Cyclone.
I think that was probably our most viewed episode of the season, believe it or not.
Oh, was it?
With Will. Yeah.
Okay.
Either he must have a strong following or we just had some kind of spike that week or something.
Yep. I'll look at when we're done. Tyler Archer, Extreme No Limit champion. Tyler, I believe, Canadian, right? He's from Canada.
Yeah, the twins is Isuzu.
That's right. The twins Isuzu. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That he was gonna try and help us find a twin to get on the show or something.
Yeah.
Yep. Then we had Jay Coe, Super Street 5 Plus world champion.
Kingpin, Jay Coe.
Kingpin, huh?
Yeah, I think he won like 2 back-to-back finals, maybe 3. Yeah, he had this like storied rivalry with another competitor, Bo Boren, and
that's right.
Just like at finals, you really had to be there, winning by like a 10th. I don't know if that was by design, but that's all you need, he was saying. And he's one of those guys was like, why show it? He probably had more in it and, just needed that extra 10th to beat, his competitor. And that's what he did. So interesting, cool story.
The Duke says Will Welcher paid people to watch. Mr. Steve Willis popping on. What's up, Steve?
Hey.
Rich Adis, which is the owner of Zero Flex, the Australian car audio brand. He was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see what they were doing in Australia and his challenges trying to get equipment out to Australia. So then he just started his own brand out of there, right?
Right. And I think a lot of innovations in car audio that he was doing down there with, I think, steel boxes and stuff like that. Oh, yeah,
with the steel boxes had really awesome, what is it called? You said they had phenomenal installs. The installs looked really cool. Now I'm going to go here. Bam, go to that. And then go to Podbean. Log in. I'm going to look and see which one we had the most. Yeah, tell us which one was your favorite guest this year and other people that you'd like to see us have on for upcoming years.
Yeah.
Our upcoming episodes. We'd love to get these people on. Like I said, just so everybody knows, our next 2 guests is next week. We're going to have on Team Trendsetter Danny Britton. Following week, we're going to have David the Duke says South Africa has some amazing installs also.
Yeah.
David Duke, we're going to have Team Trendsetter Danny Britton. And then the following week after that, we're going to have Ben Barnett of Ruthless Audio.
Yes, and if you guys don't know, he's the owner of like the most craziest, maybe I should say second to Wayne Harris, but the craziest.
Oh, the hearse.
Hearse.
Yes.
I mean, for, I guess, maybe different reasons, but if you have ever done demos, definitely, if you get a chance to do a demo in Ben's hearse, definitely do it. He's known for what they kind of dubbed as scalping demos. So people getting scalped doing demos. So yeah,
Tapping out.
tapping out and
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, and plus you got to see the vehicle also. It's not just a bunch of speakers and it's just loud. It's man, I think the door to the hearse, it swings 180 degrees, so it not
Oh
just
yeah.
opens up, it opens up, and then there's a bunch of speakers, so it's like a really cool vehicle.
Yeah. So Wayne Harris was our biggest downloads audio wise,
Oh, okay. As far as downloads.
as far as downloads go, and Will Welcher was like 2% behind him, barely.
I think I
Oh
was
wait,
looking at YouTube views.
Matt Holleran actually was second,
Ah, okay.
and I don't know about on the YouTube side. I can go to there, YouTube, and according to YouTube. Let's see who else. Like I said, if you guys have somebody that you would like us to have on here or something, help us get in contact with them.
Yeah.
We're always interested. I reached out to Scott with FI Car Audio today,
Hmm.
so we'll see if he is interested. Let's see here. Tyler. Whoa, Will Welcher. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Wayne Harris didn't have nowhere near the views on YouTube.
Maybe it's the format. Maybe the YouTube obviously is a lot different than the podcast.
Right. And he
It's the
may have
demo.
had more people also on the Facebook side potentially.
True. Yeah.
Greg Zoller's Blazer went to South Africa. That was the best build on Turn Pro Forum OG.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw a couple live videos just recently out of South Africa. I think they had a show and
Yeah. Oh yeah, by far on YouTube, Will Welcher definitely was the most views.
so you have access to like the out well, I don't know what you would call it, the data or
Statistics. Yeah.
statistics, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it had anything to do with like the age demographic, perhaps. I wonder like if a certain age demographic was YouTube only, as opposed to like Podbean or Spotify.
Right.
That'd be interesting to find out.
Oh yeah. JP only had 38 views on YouTube versus his 100
Interesting.
and whatever
On
for Will.
Oh, okay.
And usually JP's one of those figures that ends up getting a lot of views. Typically. Chivo. Where's Will at? Oh, there's Wayne. So I'm going to look at the statistics for Will. There we go. Let me go here. Let's see if I can't check out the statistics on him.
I wonder if gender has anything to do with it.
Oh,
Maybe.
wow, I missed
Maybe.
a whole bunch of things here.
Uh-oh.
Sorry I'm late. Was having dinner with my mom for her birthday today. Well, happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday.
David Duke says RP was there.
Oh, in South Africa. I think he was doing the
Oh,
live
really?
videos. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Matt Rosenthal says he's given double views.
Uh-oh.
Justin says nobody likes JP. Let's see here. Can
I wonder if Will just had the ladies tune in. Maybe that's what it was.
Wow. Oh, analytics. There it is. Let's see what Will had going on him. But like I said, if you guys have anybody that you want to bring on or want us to bring on the show, we'd love to get them out and
Yeah.
Monitor the same stream dashboard in a separate window. Blah blah blah.
Maybe that potential guest could knock Will off of the top views on YouTube spot. And
Yeah. Let me see here. What the heck? It's not letting me. Huh. I wish I could. Yep. Oh well. It won't let me look at the.
bummer.
Yeah, it won't let me look at the. Oh well, we had 30 live viewers with his, so that's a lot.
With whom?
With Will Welcher.
Okay.
So that's quite a bit. Let's see. All of JP's subscribers are paid for. He never gets the views to coincide with how popular he is. It's according to Justin Stolman. We don't know how true that is, whatever. But no, JP, you know what? Once again, another self-made man. Some people may not agree with how he made himself, but he's definitely a self-made man.
And I think we could all agree he's a polarizing figure in the car audio community. So I think there's a lot of opinions about him, but that's what makes this country great. I guess everyone could have an opinion. You could either like him or don't like him, but I guess there's a lot of proof in what he stands for in his company and stuff like that, and you can't really dismiss his efforts. And I'm sure everybody agrees, even the ones who maybe may not agree with him, has to kind of just nod and okay, yeah, he's big time
he's doing it
in the exactly. So
hey, I was just thinking about with Danny Britton coming up,
old school.
Yeah, old school, definitely, right? Old school with the what's it called? The old school forum, right? The OG forum.
Yeah.
Was there anything from the old forum? Did you participate much in that old forum?
Oh yeah. I think it was like I don't want to say I'm like the first one to put a build out there, but I was building my Plymouth Voyager at the time, and I made it a point to take a bunch of pictures and put it on the Turn Pro forum. And I've had like people say, man, this is so detailed. But it's like a lot of the stuff people are doing now, or have been doing, is putting their builds, online and not really maybe minding that, okay, you're potentially showing too much, or, you want to be able to keep couple of things secret, but I did partake in a lot of Turn Pro, activity, I guess you could say.
Okay. When I was part of the forum, I was in the box building section a lot, and I was talking to people and learning how to build boxes, and I might have been building 20 boxes a week.
Okay.
Just to see, right? Because my mind works in, I want to see how it works. I want to see how this integrates with this and this creates that, So I was building so much stuff. Steve Willis says, I posted random pictures, but only one person knew my real name or build. Were you Iggy's ghost, Steve Willis?
Oh, no.
Iggy's ghost was a troll on the thing. I was Scuba Guy on the forum. I think Danny Britton was Team Treadsetter.
Right. Okay.
And I think that was his.
Sounds familiar.
Steve Willis said numbers. He posted random pictures, but only one person knew his real numbers or build. Gotcha.
You know what? And it's funny because so many people did that, right? They put their posts, everything except for their actual numbers. Yep. But when it came to finals, you'd show up everybody knew what you were doing. Everybody knew what your numbers were. And it was like, I remember showing up to World Finals and, people hitting me up, and it was like somebody put out a baseball card on me, right? They said, okay, well, these are my stats. And, they're like, oh, but you did this show and then you did this number and then this happened. Oh, you did this with your build. And it was like, wow, how'd you know that? But that was a cool part about having a unified, or I shouldn't say unified, but a one location finals was stuff like that.
Yeah. The Duke says, "Don't show your true score till final round at finals." That was one way to go about it. Yeah. So everybody, another thing we used to do on that forum, which was really really cool and I enjoyed, was we kind of vote on like competitor of the year.
Hmm.
You remember when we do that? So, or rookie of the year, we would have votes on competitor of the year, rookie of the year, and then final predictions. Who's going to win what?
I can recall the finals predictions post happened every year right before
Yep.
finals. Sometimes even right after finals was done, they would do predictions for the following year. But yeah,
Yeah, and the reason the rookie of the year sticks out to me is Rusty
oh,
won it his first year.
oh wow, okay.
So yeah, so he
That
was nominated through the
man,
forum as
that
rookie
had to
of
have
the
been
year.
like 2004, probably
Yep.
early 2000s. Yeah.
Oh, there's Danny Britton right now. He said unloaded
Oh,
finals.
yeah. Which, believe it or not, maybe I should save this story for next week when he's on. But yeah, we've actually gone up against each other at finals.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Oh,
I
that's
guess
right.
maybe,
Super Street 1 to 2.
yeah.
Did he have the pink or the orange truck?
I think it was the orange truck that year.
Okay.
And it's funny that he says unload at finals. Maybe I could kind of reveal the story, then we can go more in depth next week. But he actually busted his windshield the round before me and him went heads up. So it was like, wow, if he didn't bust his windshield, I probably wouldn't have won
Oh,
finals that year. So
it hurt his score
um,
that bad, huh?
I'm assuming so, but nobody knows for sure. And I mean, Danny could probably tell you the truth, but yeah. And I can recall I was like, oh man. And for me in that bracket, I had something happen, so people thought I sandbagged. So I think I ended up coming in like fifth
Uh
in
huh.
in bracketing. So I had to cut through
Oh yeah.
like the previous world champions to win that year. I had to go through Danny Burton. I think forgot the name of those guys. I don't think they're still around, but
Jesse says, "Show your tat." Jesse Navarro the
exactly,
third.
exactly. But yeah, Danny was he and I went heads up that year at finals, and cool.
Huh. Um, yeah, Justin Stolman says there's a huge difference for his vehicle when he has a brand new windshield and it has a not so
Mm,
good windshield. Yeah, when you do throw windshields, um, some cars don't mind being vented a little bit. You know, uh, if that's what you want to call it, and that's about the time we had to come up with the rule on what you're allowed to. If you blow your windshield, you can packing tape, right?
right,
One
clear tape,
layer, yep, clear tape, one layer
clear
inside, one
tape.
layer outside. Basically, the reason we wanted that was for safety, so little shards of glass didn't
Yeah.
pop off and fly into people's eyes or the competitor's eye when he's sitting inside the vehicle. So we had to add that rule because of stuff like that. So I mean,
Exactly. And I think it's evolved now where the name escapes me right now. The actual film that if your vehicle was doing over a 170, you needed this film on your windshield or your
oh yeah,
windows, um, shatter something, I believe. But
Shatterguard, I think.
yes, shatter guard, I believe
Yeah.
that's what it's called.
Uh,
So it's
Danny
the
Britton
evolution.
says Jeffrey won. He beat everybody, not just me that year.
Yeah. Yeah. You're so kind, Danny.
Eric Hansen says football is on.
Oh, that's right. The Cowboys are on.
Oh, is it? It's Monday night. Whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody likes football. Let's see. Justin says my car likes the driver door open. Does 161 the driver door open at 38 hertz? Windshield 38 hertz. I think that's on at the windshield. On the other hand, messes up the loading with my 6-order design. Neil will blow out his side window. So we did have Neil on. That's an awesome video in case you guys have never seen it.
Yes. And you know what? It was like it pops up on my Facebook memories from finals every year. I ended up posting that video because I was there. It was Kentucky, I think that year. But yeah, there was actually a guy that was standing right next to the window, and the vehicle's lifted, so it shattered like over his head and into the crowd. Oh yeah, if you guys get a chance, I guess maybe you can Google it, check it out on YouTube. Neil Barber exploding side window.
Yeah.
But wow.
Eric Hansen says nobody likes to watch bowling.
Oh,
I know, nobody except me.
Burn.
But yeah, I don't like to watch bowling so much. I only like to participate. I'm not a watcher, I'm a doer. So
exactly.
Yeah, no, like I said, so Danny, one of the cool guys from Team Trendsetters. I'm sure we'll talk about this more again when he's on next week. We were talking. I believe he was one of the guys that was initiating the. How do we want to put it? We were limited to one amplifier, and so he turned multiple amplifiers into one amplifier and called it the Team Trendsetter amplifier, I believe.
I don't recall that story, but I mean, you guys would know. I mean, you were a judge back then. I was a competitor back then, so we're kind of limited in our knowledge, I guess.
The Duke talking about the pro with the fro. It's the Bob Ross bowler. His name's Kyle Troop. Asked me if I won any more lately. I took last weekend off because just got stuff to do with getting ready to sell my house and whatnot. If you can't sleep at 3 a.m., watch bowling. It'll put you to sleep.
Who said that?
That was Justin Stolman. Eric Hansen money. I made $1 or $2. Hank Veach busted out the wing window. That was pretty sweet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, Danny Britton saying that. He says we can talk about it next week. So, yeah, I believe it was like the Team Trendsetter amp because remember we used to have that rule in DB Drag that it has to be commercially available, so at least one stereo shop has to be selling it. So
didn't he have the Hyphonics? Was it
No,
Hyphonics
I believe it was
okay.
it was the Zapco 9.0.
Oh, okay. I remember that amplifier.
Yeah, I believe it was a Zapco 9.0 with the linking module.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first like stacked looking amplifiers. And then now I think a lot of companies do that as well.
Steve Willis says Lightning Audio.
Oh, okay. Was it?
It was not Lightning Audio. That's a joke.
Well, no, believe it or not, there was a competitor with the same type vehicle as Danny running Lightning Audio. I think his name was Kyle Witherspoon.
Oh, well, no. Kyle was Pioneer.
Well, before that.
That's what he says. Lightning Audio 2000.1 when Rockford.
Oh, okay.
And Willis says, yes, it was. And Danny says, yes, it was. I guess it was a Lightning Audio. I thought it was a 9.0s. That it was, and then two 9.0s, like two 4.0s together was a 9.0. Matt says Zaps are nice. He ain't wrong. They were very nice amplifiers. I was actually part of the whole Zapco group of people and all that. right when Robert Zeff was getting divorced from his wife, and his wife got everything.
Whoa. That's backstory.
Yes.
Zapco was out of Northern California, weren't they? Or?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Actually, Arc Audio started like 6 houses away from where I used to live. So, Danny Britton had says that Chili had the 9.0s. Steve Willis says he always wanted one of those trendsetter amps. Yep, the 4KW Zapco, baby. Ain't wrong.
Lightning. We tried those, but we couldn't figure it out. There was some
kind
of...
No. There was a trick to those because they did not like to be driven low. Right?
Okay.
That was their whole thing. They did not want... If you put them at like 1.5 ohms or 1.3 ohms, dude, they sung. They were gorgeous amplifiers. Okay. You put them at 0.7 ohms, they hated you. Jesse says Modesto. So...
Oh, okay.
Actually, they moved to Modesto once they got too big for the house they were in Delhi, which is Merced County from before.
So Zapco was a part of ARC?
So what happened is when Zeff and his wife got divorced, Robert Zeff became a a consultant, and he's the one who actually designed the ARC audio amplifiers. So he was the architect for ARC Audio. So, I mean, I'm just saying, there's a couple of names. Here Danny says he's got to go. We'll see you guys next week. Yeah, we'll see you next week, Danny.
Cool.
Hopefully you're feeling better and be ready to come on. Lightning Audio was built by Rockford back in the day. I did not know that.
Yeah, I think that that was back in the day. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's why Kyle was running it, Kyle Witherspoon, because he was running Rockford, I think, previously to that.
Prior to the deal they had with Pioneer, because Kyle and Scotty Owens, right?
Yes. Right.
Scotty Owens were both out of they were both Pioneer, right? So they were running all the Pioneer stuff, both Extreme. One was Extreme 1.2, one was Extreme 5 Plus, and but they were both doing that. And then, but Kyle was like the first one to kind of branch out. So, Duke. So who was the first brand of amps?
What?
To be honest, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, that's like before. Wow.
I mean, they had amplifiers in the 40s. As far back I know for a fact, they had them in the 40s. So I don't know who was, and that's the 1940s. So I don't know who was running them at that time. There's a really cool video on the or a picture on the internet. If you look up First Car Audio, you'll see somebody put like a telephone pole in their car so that they could pick up radio frequencies. And they had a record player in the back seat of their car.
Wow.
So, Steve Willis says who had his first car audio amplifier. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dave, the Duke says, I haven't been around car audio as long as you guys.
Oh.
Was that like an old joke?
Yeah. Clowning us. Well, I did see a video not too long ago from 1995. Roger was in it.
Oh.
And this was when DB Drag, I don't know if it was there was their first time being at IASCA finals in Dallas in 1995. And I can recall a lot of the vehicles. When we were watching the video, Roger was telling me, this car had this car had that. But I think back then, did he have, I don't know if he had the strokers, and I think linear power amplifiers were...
linear power. That's really old school.
Yeah, was back then. But I think Mark Fukuda was like the top guy there, I think, at that finals. And of course, he's a Rockford guy.
Yes.
So I don't know, would you say like Rockford was one of as far as like DB Drag is concerned, maybe?
Probably.
The oldest. Well, I mean, if you talk about Rockford, Wayne came from Rockford Fosgate.
Right.
So
Matt R says Jeffrey isn't old. He barely graduated.
Exactly.
The Duke says, I remember the strokers. So, I mean, if you guys listen here very long, you know that when I was building my subwoofers, the 18-inch, I wouldn't even release one until I can be louder than the Stroker 18.
Whoa.
So it took me a long time to figure out how to make my subwoofer louder than the Stroker 18. And I'm betting even now to this day, I could probably take a Stroker 18 and make it pretty loud, especially with all the power we can do now. You know, and the way that the subwoofer's designed, I could probably reinforce the center spider with an additional, you know, with some stiffer spiders or something, and it'd be pretty cool, I think. Justin says Sonic FX audio subs are a rarity. You know what? I see them pop up on eBay and
Really?
yeah, they pop up on eBay and Marketplace every once in a while. So
Was there something that distinguished the Sonic FX like sub from like the others? I mean, you could essentially take a sub and just put a different dust cap, and you know it could be
right.
like out of this company. But is there something
No,
that
no,
kind
no.
of like was different?
So I dealt a lot with the image dynamics guys, and
Okay.
let's see here. Be cool to see Doug come back out with Sonic FX as he isn't judging. It had nothing to do with judging. It was that's the reason I did become a judge, to show off my speakers. So it gave me more opportunities for people to run my stuff and show it off. So that's basically how I became a judge. Yeah, use the same design with modern parts. So the image dynamic thing, I don't know if you guys if you played with them. Oh, there you go. So Google says Fosgate was the first car audio amplifier in 1973,
Wow.
per Steve Willis.
I was kind of on the right track. So
Yeah.
this must have been before Rockford Fosgate, and it was just Fosgate, or did he
Oh,
mean to say
maybe.
Rockford Fosgate?
I don't know.
Wow, if that's the case, wow, okay, that's some history right there.
Yeah. Anyway, so my gaps were tighter. I
Mhm.
I sourced different coils than everybody else. I helped back in the day. The motor I was using was the HCCA motor, which eventually became the HCCA motor. So it was my motor that I was developing, and then it turned into the HCCA motor. So
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all. That was the RE, became the RE subwoofer, came the T3. So they were all using my
Oh,
motor that
I didn't know
I
that.
helped to come up with.
I actually ran those brands
I know
at
you did.
finals. Yeah, I ran T3 audio
Yep.
and I ran five. Well, no, I should say RE.
RE before it
Yeah,
became Phi. Yep.
yeah. Wow, interesting. Okay.
As a matter of fact, I reached out to Scott with Phi today because
Mhm.
I was working with Scott to develop those motors back in 2000. So,
Wow.
so
Okay.
I've known Scott for a minute or two, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I reached out to him today and asked him if he'd like to come on the show, and so he might be coming on here in the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
You get commission? No. He says Scott
Some kind of
Atwell
royalties?
stole him. No. Dave Duke says I was 3 years old in '73. That makes him older than me and you.
What? Exactly.
That's
So
way older than us.
his interest early on was not car audio at the time, I guess.
Steve Willis says he ran those subs before they were garbage.
Oh.
Does John Robbio own FI now? No, he does not. I don't know that he has enough money to purchase FI.
I think there might be some truth in that. I don't know. Have you
Oh,
followed it
really?
recently? Yeah. It just probably, I think the ownership just I don't know what you would call it, transferred, or I know Scott's still a part of it, but I think
Oh,
yeah, I think Sky High was running FI now.
So that would explain, because I called my old number that I have for Scott, right?
Okay.
And it used to be his house number, and then you call it, and he would say, "This is no longer the number for FI car audio, blah blah blah," right? Because it was his house, and he used to use that number for his business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jesse says he owns a piece.
Okay.
I'm guessing
Yeah,
he's doing like the Scotty Owens thing. Or he's
I'm
buying
not
up
entirely
pieces.
sure. I believe so. I know.
Or Scotty Johnson, right? Scotty Johnson's doing that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's what kind of separated mine is we came up with the HCCA motor, and then I would change the gaps pretty drastically. Scott never liked the way I was changing my gaps. He said it'll never work, blah blah blah. And the truth is, it works just fine as long as you don't overdrive the sub. If you overdrive the sub, it pops it out of the gap, and as soon as you get close to the outside of the flux area of the coil, it wants to tip, and it doesn't have anywhere to tip when the gap is super tight, and you go you fry some coils pretty damn quick. So, but you know, I was truly trying to create a SPL driver. So I needed it as efficient as I possibly can. And because we didn't have big power, right? So it was a way to overcome the lack of power. Now you can make the gaps much bigger because you can overcome that gap with power, right? I was doing double stack 110s. I built one that was just stupid one time. It was triple stacked, like 225s, I think is what we did. That's a lot of magnet. So 225 ounces.
Is that gram? Oh, okay, ounces.
Yeah, 225 ounces per stack, and then we would triple stack it. Then you'd have a big long throw. Steve says it's still great to have efficiency. Lots of company do tight gapping now. I don't believe so. Typically, what a company now considers a tight gap is the thickness of a credit card, or a business card. So a heavy business card is what you stick in the gap to center the coil. I don't know if you guys.
Shim?
Yeah, that's what you use for.
Like a shim.
We used to use business cards as shim, right? And you couldn't fit a business card between my coil and the gap.
Wow.
So
it's tight.
It was tight. It was tight. So, but you know, it increased the efficiency of the driver, and therefore, you know, when you're only running 200 watts to a sub, you can get the most out of it because, you know, we were in the 90 plus watts, 90 dB for
sensitivity.
1 watt. Yeah. And it was a true 90. But like I said, if you overdrive it, bam, she gone. DC Neos, tight gap on the Neos. It's a special if you want tight or standard. Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
There you go. But anyway, hey, we've already hit our hour. It was kind of cool to talk about this. But yeah, next week I'm looking forward to Danny Britton being on, talking about some of this stuff. I didn't even realize that you went against him. I mean, it makes sense when I think about the time frame you were competing, he was competing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will say that his text to me said, man, he really misses talking about DB drag, and he loved that time of his life. So
yeah.
Matt R says, I thought you got canceled for saying shim.
What?
Is that like she, him?
Interesting. Maybe I should have rephrased that term.
The first gen DC Neos had tight gaps. They sucked because I could not run the facing forward. Oh, running them facing forward. Yeah, because it's so easy to tilt the gap. You get a little something on the cone, it just wants to tip just a little bit, and it's really a lot to find that fine-tuned place where you have tight, super tight, but not too tight. So, first burp would eat the coil. Yep. Not saying that I haven't done that a crap ton of times. But anyway, any final thoughts, Jeffrey?
Just maybe to our listeners, our viewers,
Yep.
put it down in the comments what your favorite show episode was of this whole season, this whole year. We start from January to December. If you can, tag the person in the comments, and maybe they're not watching right now, and they find it really cool that they were mentioned as their favorite episode, that's somebody's favorite episode. So yeah, definitely, if you can, that'd be totally awesome.
Yeah. And just so you know, everybody we've had on here, a lot of people are very hesitant about coming on. But
I was.
Yeah. But I will tell you, every single person, I don't think we've ever had somebody come on and say, well, wait, yeah, man, that was horrible and I didn't enjoy it. Or they all say, you know what? It was a lot better than I thought it would be, and it was actually pretty fun.
Yep.
And that's really, really what happens with everybody that comes on here. Even people that are like super technical and don't, aren't out there, because the people that come on here really feel like it's just a conversation amongst friends. So,
exactly.
I mean, you can ask the Duke, you can ask all these people, anybody that's ever been on here, they'll tell you, yeah, see, the Duke says he loved it. And he was really nervous about coming on too. And hopefully we do our jobs as the host to make you guys feel at ease. And, just enjoy yourself. That's the whole idea. So share our information with the car audio community as a whole. Let them learn something potentially. I can't wait to get Don out here, and Don Hebig, DB Don, and he's going to tell all you guys how you don't know what you're doing when you're building your boxes.
Oh, no.
He's already got it all scripted. So just saying, he's going to teach you guys how to build boxes appropriately according to him. So, he said, Steve Wills said he liked the idea of talking about the samurai since everyone called him a cheater. The Duke says he actually did one for Mecca also. There you go.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know what other ones are out there. So, yeah, cool. I'm glad that Mecca does one. It's great to get as many people out there doing as much as we can. But for me, hey, we'll see you guys next week. Danny Britton will be on. Awesome. Danny Britton, he should have some stories. He misses the DB drag life. It's all good, dude. It's like I said, it's really cool. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. I want to say thank you to our sponsors again, Badass Sounds by C Bass and eBox Install and Design, Mr. Eric Hansen, as he's known in the chat and on Twitch and whatever else. He's 24x125 on Twitch. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yes.
We will see you guys next week on This Week in Car Audio, 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. Peace. We out.